On 3, 2, 1. Yo, yo, yo to the yo, yo, yo. Phew! I made it. Man, oh man, oh man. Talking about some crazy times. Hi, everybody. I'm Beauty Bubble, and this is the series Trade Like a Boss. This is episode 3. And I'm doing this on Sunday because I made a few commitments to do some charts, and then I got carried away with some other activity, and I have to get those charts done. And I thought, well, while I'm doing them and building them out, you guys might as well see me at it. And so let me go live. I probably won't be on for very long either. So right now it's 8 minutes after the hour. And let me make sure that we're live on YouTube. So I'll do a little bit of housekeeping, if you don't mind. So let's go here to Video Manager. Don't have tags on the event tonight either. And may take us a while for us to be in the queue for YouTube as well. Just hold on. It's always a good thing too, if you're ever kind of stepping into someone's live event, is scroll down below their window, and on the left side you'll see how long they've been streaming, and that can really help if you allow people about, it can be as long as 15 minutes really, to kind of get themselves sorted and situated. And then if they're by themselves, even more so. So we are not live yet. So let's just have this click in just to make sure. It's showing that we're live, but it is not queuing up just yet. Videos. Tried a couple of different ways here. Go live. Should be this way then. There we are. Okie dokes. Open up the feed, put myself on mute. Welcome to the chat. So you've got that queued in, so YouTube knows that there is someone here. We upvote it. I did want to try and embed. I think I'll do that tonight too. We'll go ahead and embed over at Medium. I do want to see if we can embed it over. And let me see, where do I want to put this? I have a draft right now of a story. I'll go ahead and I'll put it in here. Go ahead and edit. And then and grab the embed, choose the share feature. I should be able to get the share done. Add 2 more. Okay. Just stay with me. I'm looking for the embed. Just grab the link. Put the link and see what happens. Oh, yeah. We're good now. All right, there's the link. I'll go ahead and publish. All right, so we're over at Medium, by the way, and it's all part of that bullet list on how to start a lightning conference. This writing that I'm doing for Ned Scott's Steam It. I'm going to talk more about it. These are the charts I'm going to be working on today. Okay, so we're live over at that location, and I guess along what I'm thinking is if you had that link over there, that should probably work. Okay. All right, we'll do screen share in just a moment. And I think we're ready to go. All right, we'll pop out the chat. And then we'll go live stream in just a second. Okay, start off with the Cardwell. Okie dokes, here we go. Application window, share that. Bring myself in view, hide that, present to everyone. And I think we're good to go. Alrighty. Nobody brings up baby better than I do, right? So we're looking at a 15-minute Bitfinex Cardwell. And for those of you that are familiar at all with RSI, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a relative strength index based on Andrew Cardwell's teachings and theory. And long time ago, I worked with a very fine coder, actually a couple of them, and we made the decision back in the day that it was better for us to see price react to the indicator rather than the indicator being in the lower thirds where most momentum indicators belong and reside on most charts generally. So we decided that we would bring all of that to plot. And I know sometimes I'll say things that are very, they're casual to me, but a lot of times people that are coming into listening, they have no idea what I'm talking about. But basically this is what it is. All these lines and configurations outside of the Bollinger really usually you'll find below plot in a chart. And so all we've done is that we've served all of that information to be on plot so that you can follow. And one of the reasons that you want to be able to do that is that then it's very distinguishable. The markings that you can follow along with. And then you get into this rhythm with the candles, with or without the candles even. In fact, I'll do a show hide for you right here. This is everything without the candles. Of course, you've got your price axis. So for those of you that are, maybe you have no need for the candles, then you can actually trade. You can trade Cardwell without the candles, provided you have the price axis. And then on the left-hand side, what we're dealing with, of course, are the moving averages that he has recommended in his theory. So we're able to follow where those levels are, those baseline levels are on the chart. So that's also very helpful. Bring back the candles so that you can see that that's kind of one of the reasons. Many times you'll notice that the trading will go on candleless because we're in depth of market and watching the EMAs, MAs, and so forth. And of course, if you no reason to overreact on the candles, except for all of us, of course, look at them. It just depends on what you want to concentrate when you're trying to put together a thesis of direction. Okay. All right. So what's happening right now is that Bitfinex experienced really quite a volatile pullback. Took a while, as you can see, very, very sanguine activity, but just lower lows and some little fractals that gave people a rise, thinking that maybe we would get another push up and then just lower lows, a rejection of the lows, a pullback right shoulder where it landed at the 880, 888, yeah, 888.20. And since that right shoulder pickup, which was an Elliott 5, we've been getting these fractal reactions. Fractal push up, fractal push up, fractal push up, and many people, of course, have been counting these ledges 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth ledge coming up here to reach the nearest high, the pullback to generate to go back up to free market. Free market equilibrium is a line. There's a couple of different ones that I have on my charts. On the Cardwell, it's at 1,228, and this is it's an idea that has been on my charts for quite some time. What I call free market equilibrium. It has more to do with where I see that market participants are interested in price, and as we all know, many, many times price will make this incredible decision to always come back to mean. It wants to desperately be accepted by the other market participants unless there's been a full rejection. Now it can come up here to do some teasing and taunting to the audience because even though it's like a play, these are all market participants, these are all people that are willing participants actually, but the way that a chart can illustrate that is that it can show rejection of price. And of course, this is what we saw. And really most of what we saw in today's ledge, there is a lot of tension. I don't know if you would call it controversy in the big, in the big picture, but there certainly is a lot of tension in the cryptocurrency space / industry. A lot of what I've been seeing this past week is that obviously people want to be heard, right? And I'm sure that there's a few of you that have heard me say that really most of us are on the internet to find a way that we can be heard and know that we've been heard, and then loved, some people might say, respected or thought highly of, or at least thought something about. And this particular, since the round table, there's really been a lot of difficulty with people, and they know that they have to come to some agreement, or there has to be some moment in time where there's a constitution of well-being that's arrived at, so that now the market can then accept free market equilibrium, and then people can trade off of that with some peace of mind. There's always risk, of course, but you can at least come into the market with some peace of mind, have an idea of what your projections are, and then you can get involved in risk models and etc. But man, we've been hearing a lot of very because I didn't really look at price movement or even price volatility as being negative if you're on the correct side of it. And I know that none of us can say what is going to happen, but there were a lot of projections that I heard, and I hope that maybe, that you had your ear to listening to those projections. You will definitely see them on my charts. Probably the end of this week, I'll try and find out where these numbers are. I know that some of you have seen my number 384. I might have even dropped one down to as low as 206, something along those lines. But of course, it's all based on charts, and those projections based on the charts. So it's very shocking to me to hear these numbers from people that are maybe not even so. They're not following the chart per se. you know, like I do, part of the $1 billion candle club by now. And yet they're coming up with the same numbers, same projections that I have. So very interesting stuff coming up. And so that's what we see on the Cardwell. Cardwell coming and slicing through the 55 base, getting resistance in the upper Bollinger Band that you can see here. And as we know, this kind of very gentle rolling, we might see that we might just end up somehow in this channel. Or this could be another shoulder presenting itself, and then we'll find our way back to 917.11. All right, so that is the Cardwell. And let me run over to Ruby. Sorry for the brightness there. Same thing, Ruby Bitfinex on the 15-minute. And I put something out on Twitter that what happens when the 8 and the 12, even the we have the 8, the 12, the 52, 51 EMA all colliding right here on this very interesting fractal. So this is a thinning of the EMAs below free market, below price alert, below the 96. So this really gets us, what's happening is that we're being squeezed as Ruby short starts to put pressure on the long, and we just don't know how this can resolve itself. Usually an ascending pattern such as this will resolve to the downside, but many times we've seen where especially Bitfinex will just not accept that pattern whatsoever, and then we'll get this kind of odd, what I call jumping the broom. It'll jump the broom, and then we'll find ourselves back, you know, maybe to the 1006 area here from this wick. But you see a lot more legginess. You can see it a little bit better in Ruby. So very kind of what I had called kind of sanguine activity. Really, this shoulder, this atom left shoulder here was to be expected. Just a heaviness off of the 96. So can't really say too much about this. I mean, it's holding up. The 950.02 is holding up on the double bottom here, as you can see. So I had a tag here through price alert, a tag over here below price alert. So double bottom, even a triple bottom if you wanted to carry it all the way across. So it's an important level for it to test. And then it flags up. But of course it's looking more as though, especially if you were to count this as a flag 1, 2, a little minor. This is a little too long, but nevertheless it's still angled 45 degrees to the upside, which presents, once it starts to thin, it should, capital S, it should go ahead and come on down. Alrighty. Okay, so that is Cardwell and Ruby. All right, then I was able to get a couple of ETH charts that I scraped. And I can't really tell you, these are charts coming from TradingView. You'll notice that when I share your charts, when I share my charts, you see how it says chart? If you had that link, then you would actually be in my live chart. That's why you always want to look for the X charts. You're being more fair to the crafter if you look for the charts that have the X rather than the charts. But occasionally these charts will come out in the wild. And what's cool about this is that you'll notice that if I take that and I open it up over here, if they're looking at a different, and in fact they are, they're looking at an entirely different name right now and different chart even. And TradingView, and it's not so wisdom, I guess, although it's convenient for many of us, we can basically, once you've got that chart, you can follow that particular trader. I can't even tell you where I got the chart from, but you can follow along with what they're interested in. So it's kind of a little bug, I guess you could say, a little white hat hack. The Trading View. It's always been like that. So, all right. So we're going to take a look at Ether, the ETH BTC pairing on the 1 minute. We've been watching this VWAP here. I'm trying to understand the correlation between the ETH BTC name against Bitfinex. I've noticed that there is maybe a modest correlation, maybe 4-to-1 correlation. If the ETH BTC pair goes up, I might see a movement to the downside on Bitfinex. So I've been watching this, not only the ETH 1 minute, but I have a ETH 4 hour, and these are all just basic kind of trend lines, and looks like they're working on some other things down below here, some other scripts down there, and then now we see that they're working on the Zcash 60-minute. Now I can't change the time frame. I can zoom in to the chart, but I can't change the time frame or anything. So it's basically like I'm peering in or over the shoulder of another trader without them describing to me. But I wanted to look at it this way, because instead of me creating a chart and then maybe having more of a relationship with the chart, I thought, well, this is a more interesting kind of a chalkboard view, so that I don't have to get too emotionally attached to what I'm seeing. Okay. All right, so we're leaving Bitfinex at 977, Ether at the 52.31, and Zcash at 615. Alrighty. So let me go ahead and we're going to close out. I'm trying to think of which window I should close out. Go ahead and let's see. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll do the steam on the 15-minute here. Okay, so if you're over at TradingView, you know that you just simply click in the chart, and I'll go to the Steam BTC Polo pair. Once again, on Ruby on the 15-minute, and now I know right straight away, because I haven't done any drawing on this chart, is that we'll go ahead, just to have an idea, go ahead and build my simple fib retracement to the low over here. And what I do a lot of times, especially if I'm not seeing any, what happened? If I'm not really seeing any structural, what can I say? If some of the structure isn't making that much sense, I'll always take it to the 243. And I take it to the 243 a lot of times because if the 243 is doing any registration, then the Fibonacci for me will make a little bit more sense without it changing up too much. So we can see that a lot of market participation in between the halfway line and the 618 line. It's a very wily pair. Like I promised Ned that I would just spend more time. So really tonight it's about just kind of making sure that I've got my charts built out. Okay, so that's the Steam BTC pair. Let's go over to the Steam Ethereum pair. All right, this one, whoa, 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 whoa. Now the 243 is well above. So we don't need to know much about that. Really incredibly wily wick. So this is telling me straight away, very difficult to do any sort of trade analysis whatsoever based on those wicks. So I'm just going to go ahead and shut the wicks down so that I have an idea of when one would go long and when would go short. And then it looks as though more than likely that the 15-minute is not going to work on this pair initially. The 243 is applying a lot of pressure. The 96 running through the long is very typical. The 51 keeping things hostage to the shorts. This is all very typical kind of a setup. And things not looking so hot on that pair. Going to the next steam pair, which is the steam dollars pair. Okay, now this one I did do. I've had some price alerts at double lot 110, and I'll go ahead and keep that one. And it looks as though I might be able to get away with building a fib out, so that might be kind of interesting to do. So I'll go ahead and grab the fib from up here. I'll take it to the 243 right away. All right. So we know that Ruby's taken the trade short. I would have been have a little bit more confidence if we had seen a wick to the 243. And nothing in here whatsoever to say that there was a reversal. A very difficult trade to be in the 15-minute. Let me go ahead and go to the 30. See if there's anything else in the 30 that I can get. So he's not really trading very well off of the 30. And then we can only push Ruby to the hour. A little bit easier wick to read. Very, very difficult trade to follow. So I'll kind of give him a little bit of a report on that. We'll do a Condor's pass on this. Go all the way out to the 4 hour. Let's make sure I can get that trade. Can I get her to the 4 hour? Oh, there she is. Okay, should say there he is. Okay, this is a little bit better looking because in this particular case we have Ruby is actually supporting all of this on the 243, even though we have this nasty pullback. It's not. We'll do. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll do some measurements on this because it's not so bad. The only problem is that we've had this congestion down here underneath the 243, so that's always going to be a threat, is that the trade is going to pull back to congest at the 243 to make these power moves to the upside. Okay, so I had to go all the way out to a 4 hour. Oof, I'm not crazy about that. Okay. All right, let me go back to the Hangout. And let me go over to, I'll go ahead and I'll stop sharing, guys. And come on over to the YouTube. See how long I've been on. Okay, still on mute over here. Yeah, exactly 29 minutes. So this is good enough. All right, so thanks a lot. You've seen a few charts from me tonight, the Ether BTC pairing, the BTC USD Bitfinex, Zcash, and 3 of the Steam pairs. I hope that you will subscribe to the channel. That would really be wonderful if you were to do so, because we're on a kind of a push for the 2017 with YouTube to reach a milestone for the channel so that we can get some features released. YouTube is supposed to be doing some really cool new feature sets. I know that they're closing some features down, which might be kind of scary for people. Annotations, for example. is going away, but there are some feature sets that we would really like to participate in, and you have to reach certain benchmarks with your following. So if that isn't your bag, then you can follow me over at Twitter. My DMs are open, and thank you very much to my newer followers. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions whatsoever about what you've seen or what in the world, things like that, just make sure that you reach out to me. Okay. Talk to everybody later. Bye.